oh my God, I didn't realize that I was putting 400 calories of oil on top of my chicken, or adding 400 calories of butter to my butter chicken. You need oh shit moments to realize where you've been shit in the past so you can oh shit your way forwards. We know in the South Asian community using one of these on a day-to-day basis is forbidden within the kitchen. It's supposed to make me love portion sizes, emotionally random nature of serving sizes, and this is banned unless you're making a cake. If you're South Asian and you want to create a calorie deficit without counting your calories, here's how you do it over these 4 little tips I'm going to show you. I'm going to give you a complete breakdown of how you can drop your next 10 to 20 pounds in the next 90 days, not counting a single calorie. So, when you're looking at these 4 different areas of the way that you would count your calories without having to count your calories, you've got very simple approaches. You need to have a measure regardless of what you do. We can't get you in a calorie deficit without saying you've been in a calorie deficit. We can't guess because guessing doesn't lead to a calorie deficit, so you're going to have to measure something. So, first up is the 1 plate rule. We've helped people like Varisha, who you're going to see here, lose a significant amount of weight just using one of these bad boys. Now, she probably didn't have one of these plates, but I like them for visual demonstration. Any meal that's made in a traditional home, or any type of made that is a family dynamic, so you're cooking for multiple people, whoever you got in the house, this can be a saving grace because you can make a meal for everybody, and as long as you follow these portion sizes, you can't go that far wrong. And like I said, you can measure portion sizes with this as opposed to measuring calories. So what you want to do is you want to get half your plate full of veggies, you want to put your protein in this section, and then if you're having carbohydrates based on your body weight, you will be putting your carbohydrate in that section. The kicker is, if you put things over the top, you've gone over. So it's an easy way to do so. It only really works if you're using single ingredient food. So it's single ingredient food. It may create some slower progress. So if you're after that like super fast results where you want to lose a kilo a week, and you want to get in bikini shape for 8 weeks time, this isn't for you. That's where you need more of this coming into the picture because you've only got a tight deadline and you're creating higher expectations. As well as this, you can do this forever, right? Even if you don't use this plate specifically, you can use a version of it to control your portions for the longest time and adjust based on the diet or the phase that you're in. If you're in a muscle building phase, you could do 2 portions of protein, a half a carb here and half a veggies. If you're in a really aggressive dieting phase, you could do protein, leave the carbs and have the veggies. If you're in more of like a energy or you're marathon training or want to do some additional muscle building, you can have protein, double carb, veggies. You can do a lot with these sections for this servings, but the habits for life, whether it is now in what phase you're in dieting, but also in the future too. So that is really useful. Now, the problem with this is that it leads to no education because you can make your chana, you can make your spaghetti bolognese, for example, but you're not learning anything about the process. You're not learning about what's in your food. You're just assuming that it's okay because these portions will keep you calorie controlled. There's a famous saying that calories will change your body weight, macros will change how your body looks. And that's because in macros, you've got the right amount of protein to build muscle tissue. You've got the right amount of fiber to reduce bloating. You've got the right amount of carbohydrates to increase your sleep, productivity, your mood, your muscle building. All those things come from the devil in the detail of the macros. So if you're only using the portion sizing, you will only get as far as your education on serving sizes. And therefore you'll be lacking a lot of education about once you've hit that 10 kilos, 15 kilos, how to change your food sources, what's better, what's worse. You won't get that from the plate. The plate won't tell you if it's better or worse for you. It is unpredictable because you aren't controlling the first step, which is the groceries into the recipe, into the meal you're being cooked, and you don't control the measures of oils, especially if you're getting cooked by someone that hasn't got the same goals as you. We know mums, even your partners, may be on the higher side of obesity. And normally their actions align with the quantity and quality of food that they eat on a day-to-day basis. So it's unpredictable based on the people you're around, and unless you're the one controlling the food, it becomes quite a difficult task unless you have really good communication with your partner or really good communication with the person that's cooking the meals. So you have to re-educate everybody as part of the process, which means it's unpredictable. Now over time, you can use cups, spoonfuls, and any of the other variables that kind of require serving of. Because whether it's cereal, whether it's rice, whether it's tablespoons of butter, servings of chicken, for example, they can all fit within these constructs. And the key for a calorie deficit is that you learn how many spoonfuls you need to be able to do this, or how many cups that you need for your results to get fat loss. But here's the kicker and the pro tip for this video. If you really want to use these or these and get the most out of it, you need to first start with this. because this gives you truth. It gives you objectivity, it gives you education, it gives you understanding, and it gives you course correction. Most people who are large, and definitely not in charge, are the people who don't think they have big portions. And then before you know it, when they put their food on the scale, when they put their portion on the scale, when they've then navigated their calorie intake, they then find out that they have been. And that's no shit. My best advice for this area, if you want to utilize cups, spoonfuls, one plate rule, is that you start with measure. You get the results that you want, because diets are not sustainable. I'm gonna say that again. You shouldn't be looking for a sustainable diet. You should be looking for a consistent diet that you can repeat for the time period of the diet. Because when you finish the diet, you then don't sustain the way you were eating before, which then means that all the things that you learned that were sustainable are all dieting tactics. If you measure and you get your results, firstly, you'll get there quicker, so speed will be faster with no deleterious effects on the back end of that. And then secondly, is your education will increase dramatically. Third is that your oh shit moments will increase. And those shit moments, I mean, oh my God, I can't believe that tablespoon of peanut butter was 150 calories. I can't believe that dal that I had was 400 calories. I didn't even think I ate that much. Key is, get your results. Do 10 to 15 weeks of dieting consistently and then get out of there. You know, get out of that dieting phase, complete the finish line, get the results that you want to get. And then what you can do is with the information, the education. Because if you do 10 to 15 weeks of measuring, following structures, even tracking your numbers, you will get a few things. You're going to get repeatable and practiced food choices. So you're going to have meals that you've made that are going to be to your specifications, that are to your liking, that you can repeat, which are then easy to repeat. If you've practiced them 600 times with this, and you then move to this, is then such an easy transition. You then know how to make new meals. You know that you can go back to measuring for the first time, a nice butter chicken, a chana masala, and then you then move those away after you've had a repeated success of either maintaining your weight or during the dieting phase, you've tried a new recipe and you've still lost weight the week after. That would be the best position to be in. And then alongside that is that you have enough time with results you can practice. Because this stuff here, as I said, unpredictable, lack of control, slow progress, habits for life, they all create some type of inaccuracy, but they're good long term. So if it creates some level of inaccuracy, we don't want to start super inaccurate in the first place. So once you've got that progress and once you've got that result, you have this wiggle room, right? So you've lost a bunch of weight from here all the way down, and now you've got this little wiggle room, which is here. So let's say, for example, you're weighing all your food and you're 70 kilos. You're in your maintenance phase, you're plodding along, and you start seeing, 71, 72, 73, 74. You know that's going up. You don't want up. So what you then know is the portion sizes and the way that you're doing your nutrition have to change, and you have to course correct again. But the thing is, because you've achieved 70 and you've got these amazing results and you're happy and you're confident and you're awesome, then this little buffer range here, 70 to 74, is you're not fat again, basically. Whereas if you did this and you failed during the portion sized amount at 85 kilos or 200 pounds, you'd feel disappointed, really annoyed, and then not be able to get back into the motivation of doing things. So why would you want to ruin your progress or momentum when you could build momentum, have your momentum here, achieve the results that you want to get, then transition into some of these? Like I said, these are sustainable long-term strategies. This one are for being particular, specific, and measured and accurate. You don't want to spend more than 16 weeks in a diet. You won't even last more than 16 to 18 weeks consistently in a diet, because we as humans don't have the attention to focus on things for long times with high degrees of intensity. The average time of a habit or a new hobby is 16 weeks. Why? Because we have enough time in a 16-week period to get super excited about singing, paddle, and then we get enough time to buy the new stuff for that particular thing, and then you get to do it and enjoy it, and you get to a certain level, and then you get disinterested after a period of time. That's totally okay, but we want to work within that. You're not going to diet for 6 months to a year to make it sustainable, because diets are not sustainable. So in essence, you can create a deficit without counting and using some of the smaller, low progress, single ingredient habit for life type of structures with the cups, the plates, and the one plate rule, but it's going to leave you up to not getting a deficit in the future or getting success in the future in terms of seeing the big results and then getting the education, the control. My best tip: measure, control your deficit through accuracy, get your results, then move to being, a deficit without counting effectively, or maintenance without counting, or muscle building without counting. That's much better than having a deficit without counting, but then not getting a deficit because you aren't counting and you're not educated enough, which is totally normal. And then you don't want to get disappointed, unmotivated, and end up fucking screwing off the diet and blaming someone else for you not being accurate. So have a nice day.